Minneapolis-Moline U. Launched in 1929, just as the United States was entering the Great Depression. Farmers were cutting costs in a recession. But they still needed a reliable machine to keep their land from falling into disrepair. Based in Hopkins, Minnesota, Minneapolis-Moline introduced the Model U, a versatile tractor designed for both large and medium-sized farms. When it first launched, the Model U retailed for $1,200 to $1,400, depending on configuration and fuel. Over its nearly 27-year production run, more than 33,000 Model Us were built, becoming a familiar sight across the Great Plains, the Dakotas, Nebraska, and Illinois. Today, if in good working order, a Model U can be had for around $3,000 to $6,000. Not fancy, not flashy, but the Model U is a symbol of the toughness, simplicity, and reliability of the American farmer in hard times. The Model U is equipped with a 4-cylinder engine, 283 cubic inches in later models. Estimated power is around 36 PTO horsepower, with a drawbar pull of over 3,000 pounds under ideal conditions. The transmission is 4 forward, 1 reverse, simple but effective. The engine speed is around 1,500 RPM. The fuel tank holds around 20 gallons, enough for a full day of work. Overall length is around 126 inches, dry weight is around 5,000 pounds, giving a stable feel when working on rough terrain. One of the first highlights of the Model U was its ability to run on multiple fuels, gasoline, kerosene, or propane. This was an economical choice during times of scarcity, and suited to each region. The tricycle front axle design allowed for tight turning circles, which was useful for corn and cotton farming. Smooth operation on steep slopes and a simple clutch system made maintenance easy, without relying on a professional. The engine hummed steadily in the morning dew. The headlights dimly illuminated the newly sprouted corn. Children sat on the wooden fence watching, waving to their fathers to come home for breakfast. The dirt covered the tires after each plowing session. The smell of engine oil, damp soil, sweat, and hope for a bountiful harvest. The Model U was more than a machine, it was a memory of harvest mornings. When everyone gathered around the haystack, their sleeves rolled up, and another season had just ended. Today, the Model U is often displayed at vintage agricultural fairs, where tractor enthusiasts from all over come to see, touch, and reminisce about the good old days. In the collector community, the Model U is prized for its ease of restoration, easy availability of parts, and ability to function well with proper maintenance. A significant part of American agricultural engineering history. The Model U represents a time when the tractor was more than just a tool, it was a true companion. The Minneapolis-Moline Model U stands out for its simple design, rugged performance, and the spirit of hard work during a time of hardship. If you have owned, seen, or have memories of a Model U, please share them in the comments below. We invite you to see the next tractor. Minneapolis-Moline Z. Introduced in 1936, in an America just emerging from the Great Depression, when the fields needed to be restored, and farmers needed a sturdy machine to get them started again. Based in Hopkins, Minnesota, Minneapolis-Moline answered with the Model Z. A simple, reliable, mid-size tractor. With an initial retail price of around $1,200. The Model Z was affordable for many small farmers. From 1936 to 1955, more than 92,000 ZS rolled off the assembly line, popularly in states such as Iowa, Missouri, Nebraska, and the Great Plains. Today, working examples can sell for anywhere from $2,500 to $6,000, depending on their condition and originality. The Model Z is not only famous for its large production volume, but also for its durability, ease of repair, and adaptability to many types of farms. Equipped with a 4-cylinder engine, with a capacity of up to 206 or 248 cubic inches, depending on the version. The Model Z produces about 27 to 31 drawbar horsepower and 32 to 36 PTO horsepower. The standard transmission is 5 forward speeds, 1 reverse speed. Operating at a maximum speed of about 1,500 to 1,800 RPM. The fuel tank capacity is about 18 gallons. The average pulling capacity is over 3,800 pounds. The overall length is about 125 inches. The weight is from 4,200 to 4,800 pounds, allowing stable operation on clay, sandy soil, or gentle slopes. The Model Z had a simple, easy-to-maintain chassis design. With a narrow front axle, flexible when rotating between closely spaced rows. Some later versions also incorporated a live PTO, allowing the mower or baler to operate without stopping. The ability to run on multiple fuels, gasoline, propane, or kerosene, was also a strong point when supplies were limited during and after World War II. The engine roared in the morning dew, as the Z passed through rows of green beans soaked with dew. The mud stuck to the wheels after the first rain of the season. The smell of gasoline mixed with the smell of soil and the driver's sweat. It was the aroma of an honest day's work. On the simple iron seat, the father and grandfather had sat for many seasons, piloting the machine through each plowed row as if it were the discipline of a farming life. Today, the Model Z is often restored in antique tool shops, and regularly appears at fairs like Antique Powerland and Old Thresher's Reunion. With such a large production run, spare parts are still easy to find. And the MMZ enthusiast community is always ready to share maintenance experiences. In the history of American agricultural engineering, the Model Z is a typical image of simplicity, efficiency, and loyalty to the land. The Minneapolis-Moline Z is notable for its durable design, reliable engine, and an irreplaceable place in the memories of thousands of American farm families. If you have ever driven a Z, or stood next to it during harvest season, please share your story in the comments below. Please see the next tractor. Minneapolis-Moline M670 Super, 1969. In 1969, as America entered the era of modern agriculture, Minneapolis-Moline released one of the last machines that embodied American muscle. The M670 Super. Manufactured in Hopkins, Minnesota, the M670 Super was a powerful upgrade from the standard M670. It was aimed at farms that needed a lot of traction, durability, but were also easy to maintain and operate. The starting price was around $7,200, a reasonable price for medium to large-scale farms. The production run was relatively small compared to other models, making it even more sought after today among collectors. Current prices for a working M670 Super range from $6,000 to $11,000, depending on the condition and originality of the machine. The M670 Super is remembered for its excellent balance of power, reliability, and rugged looks. The M670 Super is powered by a 336 cubic inch, 6-cylinder diesel engine, producing 67 PTO horsepower and approximately 61 drawbar horsepower. The transmission is an 8-speed forward, 2-speed reverse, which can be combined with a hydropower drive transfer case for increased shifting flexibility. The RPM is 2,250. The fuel tank holds approximately 27 gallons. The pulling capacity is over 6,000 pounds. Suitable for large farming equipment such as 4-blade plows, balers, or tractors. The overall length is approximately 142 inches. The estimated weight is approximately 7,500 pounds, heavy enough to grip the ground, but not to sink too deep. The highlight is the hydropower drive system. which allows the machine to change gears while running without stopping. This feature saves time and fuel when working on large fields. In addition, the live PTO and improved hydraulic system allow for smoother and more precise control of the rear equipment. It also has an oil bath type air filter, which helps protect the engine in dusty environments. The engine hums steadily in the morning dew. As the M670 Super slowly glides through the cornfields still wet with dew, the early morning light glistens on the dark yellow painted chassis. The mud clings to the wheels after the first rain of the season. The sound of the iron chain rattling, mixed with the smell of damp soil, diesel and freshly cut straw. That scene has been imprinted in the minds of many generations. Children back then often sat on the fuel tank, their hands gripping the machine shafts, their eyes following the rows of corn plowed neatly behind. Today, the M670 Super is a popular collector's item and can be found at fairs like the Antique Power Show and the Midwest Old Threshers Reunion. With a limited production run, each one that survives has a distinct historical value. A final milestone before Minneapolis-Moline merged with other major manufacturers. In the history of American agricultural technology, the M670 Super represents the era when tractors reached the peak of mechanical power before electronics took over. The Minneapolis-Moline M670 Super stands out for its powerful engine, smooth transmission, and its late 60s American design. If you've ever owned one, or simply seen it in action in the field, please share your story in the comments. We invite you to see the next tractor. Minneapolis-Moline G1000. In 1965, as America was undergoing a dramatic shift from urban to rural, at a time when farmland was expanding, and the need for mechanization was high after 2 decades of post-war development, Minneapolis-Moline, headquartered in Hopkins, Minnesota, introduced a new tractor model, the G1000. With a starting price of about $9,000, the G1000 quickly made a strong impression. About 7,100 were sold from 1965 to 1969. Popular in agricultural states such as Iowa, Kansas, Nebraska, and South Dakota. Today, depending on condition and originality, a working G1000 can be sold for anywhere from $6,000 to $12,000. More than just a farming vehicle, the G1000 became a symbol of power, durability, and engineering beauty of its time. Equipped with a 504 cubic inch inline 6-cylinder engine, the G1000 produced 105 PTO horsepower and approximately 93 drawbar horsepower. Well suited for all requirements of tilling, pulling tractors, and large trailers. The transmission system included 10 forward gears, accompanied by hydropower drive for smooth shifting while operating. The maximum RPM reached 2,200 RPM. The fuel tank held more than 50 gallons. The towing capacity reached 11,767 pounds. Overall dimensions were approximately 166 inches in length, with a dry weight of nearly 9,400 pounds. Large but still well balanced, easy to handle on the open field. The highlight was the hydropower drive, a type of auxiliary transmission that allowed the driver to change speeds without disengaging the clutch. A timeless innovation from the 60s, it significantly increased productivity. The live PTO system operated independently of the main clutch, allowing for more flexible control of the rear end while still moving. Powerful hydraulics, easy to maintain design, and a wide view from the cab made the G1000 the ideal machine for farmers of the time. Before the sun had fully risen, the G1000's headlights would shine through the rows of corn, and children sitting on the edge of the field would wave to their fathers behind the wheel. It wasn't just a memory. It was part of farm life, where the G1000 had spent a lifetime. More than half a century has passed. But many G1000s are still being restored, displayed, or used. At vintage agricultural shows like the Red Power Roundup or the Antique Tractor Show. The G1000 always attracts attention with its distinctive yellow color and powerful appearance. In the vintage tractor community, the G1000 is considered a symbol of practical engineering, timeless design, and the spirit of the American farmer. It is a testament to a time when machines were built to last. Not years, but decades. The Minneapolis-Moline G1000 stands out for its rugged strength, cutting-edge technology, and its ability to serve reliably for dozens of seasons. If you have owned or have memories of a G1000, please share them in the comments below. We invite you to see the next tractor. Minneapolis-Moline UDLX. In 1938, America was recovering from the Great Depression. Dirt roads were being paved. Farmers were dreaming of going to market, going to church, on their own tractors. And so Minneapolis-Moline, headquartered in Hopkins, Minnesota, introduced the UDLX Comfort Tractor, the first tractor in history designed to both plow the fields and drive around town. The price was $2,155, more than many cars. Only about 150 were produced from 1938 to 1941. Spread across Minnesota, Wisconsin, and several northern states. Today, a working UDLX can sell for over $150,000, making it one of the rarest and most valuable collectible tractors in America. The UDLX was not a sales success, but it became a pioneering symbol of the combination of farm implements and modern conveniences. The UDLX used a 283 cubic inch, four-cylinder Minneapolis-Moline engine, producing about 40 drawbar horsepower and nearly 45 PTO horsepower. The transmission had 5 forward, 1 reverse gears, operating at 1,500 RPM. The fuel tank held about 20 gallons, and the estimated towing capacity was over 4,000 pounds. It was about 140 inches long, weighing about 5,400 pounds, with a closed body and a cab that resembled a 1930s sedan. The UDLX was the first tractor to have an enclosed cab, with doors, hand-rolled windows, wipers, headlights, horns, and even a heater and a radio. It could legally run on public roads at speeds of up to 40 miles per hour, twice as fast as a tractor of its era. After the harvest, farmers could use the UDLX to go to the market, take their children to school, or drive straight to town without changing vehicles. The engine hummed steadily in the warm cabin as the UDLX rolled down the red dirt road still damp with dew. Mud clung to the wheel arches after the first rain of the season. While inside the cabin, the farmer quietly listened to the morning news on the dashboard radio. The closed doors kept out the cold, but ushered in a new era when tractors were no longer just tools, but became a convenient part of rural life. The UDLX is now sought after by collectors around the world. Many have been meticulously restored and are on display in museums such as the Smithsonian or the National Farm Toy Museum. With such a small number, each UDLX is a mechanical treasure, representing the most advanced and daring thinking in the history of American agricultural engineering. It was not only the first tractor with a comfortable cab, but also a symbol of the dream: farming could be luxurious. The Minneapolis-Moline UDLX was distinguished by its bold design, timeless comfort, and its pioneering role in combining farming with modern life. If you have ever seen a UDLX, or heard your grandparents talk about the tractor with a radio, please share in the comments below. See you in the next video, where we will preserve and honor values that never fade.